Hello, dear students. I am PK Zadav and I am with my 10th standard CB student. Today, we are going to study one of the value based, I shouldn't say value based, but a realistic poem. Amanda, standard 10th. My dear, actually, this poem is about the issue of children growing up and their upbringing. Now, you are in 10th standard, so you can understand the feeling. This poem highlights the struggle faced by the child. Indirectly, the poet stresses that children should not be devoid of freedom and spontaneity in their natural growth. Correct? And the parents have a great responsibility to bring up their children to be good citizens later. Actually, parents should see that their children are unnecessarily made to feel repressed. In this poem, actually, Amanda's parent prepare her to be acceptable in the society by restriction her in many ways. But they do not feel that in doing this such type of activity, they are actually troubling or maybe challenging her freedom and space. Amanda feels this restriction so much that she doesn't want to grow up. But for your kind surprise, she remains an orphan. She wants to remain an orphan. She feels very lonely herself actually. Continuous taunting, nagging, fault finding make her moody. Obviously, the result do not come as desired. The moral of the poem is loud, lucid, and clear for all. Lastly, we'll discuss the theme of this and message of this poem. Right, my dear? Let's start. Please keep textbook with you. It will be easy for you. Let's start now. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. First answer. Don't hunch your shoulder, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Amanda, Amanda, Amanda. Here, this is a common instruction. And while reading the poem, my dear student, you may feel that sometime it happens with you because condition is same everywhere. I repeat, generally parents here Amanda's parents say, "Don't bite your nail, Amanda." When any teenager bites the nail, actually it's a part of depression. Parents should understand. Don't bite your nail, Amanda, but Amanda's parents don't like this action. They told, don't hunch your shoulder. Hunch, raising the shoulder. Like that. If you disagree with your parent, generally you hunch your shoulders. So here they restrict Amanda from hunching her shoulders. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Oh, you can imagine what a series of instruction. Correct? Actually, here Amanda is engrossed in her own world. Yes, and parents don't like that. They find her action as somewhat just neglecting parents. Don't bite your nail, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulder, Amanda. Stop that slouching. Slouching, sitting in bad manner, bad posture. Sit up straight, Amanda. And generally, students don't like such type of restriction. Now the next stanza is in bracket. The first stanza, which is open, they are the direct parent reaction. Now here, imaginative reaction of Amanda in bracket. What she thinks? There is a languid emerald sea. Languid means peaceful, emerald means green. Where the sole inhabitant is me. Soul means only, inhabitant means, resident actually. I want to be like mermaid. Mermaid, that's marine. That marine actually fairy. Yes, mermaid. Drifting blissfully, moving slowly. Actually, here what happened? She's dreaming. She's engrossed in her own world, and she's dreaming. Amanda is dreaming of being a mermaid who is moving slowly in the sea. or maybe swimming, you can guess. While swimming or moving constitutes controlled stroke, she wants to be a peaceful life, my dear. She doesn't like parents' restriction. Do you understand? This stanza is given in bracket and throws light on presented situation in the poem actually. Imagination of Amanda. She wants to be free from any restriction. She imagines herself like a free, joyful mermaid, moving freely. Here, a mermaid is a symbol of freedom and wonder for her. And of course, in such situation, in such age, children, teenagers don't like restriction. Correct? I repeat the line. There is a languid emerald sea, where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. See, imagine that I should not be in the parents' such type of nagging or troubling. She wants to be in that sea, like a mermaid, free, away from parents' restriction. So, hope that you understand parent reaction is aggressive and Amanda's reaction is imaginative. Instead of direct challenge to parent, she preferred to be in imagination. Let's see what's parent restriction now. Third stanza. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Common instruction, my dear. Actually, parents intentionally don't say like that, but they want that you should be neat and clean. Here, Amanda, one more instruction. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you clean your room, Amanda? Tidy means clean. I thought that I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Oh. Parents' instruction have no end. No end. There is a series of instruction. Now let's see. Again, Amanda goes in imagination. What's she thinking? I am an orphan roaming the street. She feels that my parents don't understand me. My condition is like an orphan, orphan without parents. Anath. Roaming the street. Oh, my condition like orphan. She feels like an orphan who is roaming aimlessly in a street. Like a carefree child, she is making pattern on soft dust. Let's see the next line. I patterned soft dust with my hush bare feet. Pattern means design. Hush means silent. Actually, here what happened? Amanda is in distress, in tension, in sorrow. And because of constant parents' restriction, she feels herself that she is an orphan without parent who is roaming aimlessly in a street. Like a carefree child, she is making pattern on soft dust with her bare feet in depression, in tension, in sorrow. Roaming on the street, she is playing with that soft dust. She has shut her ears to what is being told to her. Because of constant parents blaming, she wants to shut her ears. She likes silence very much. She thinks that silence is golden and freedom is sweet. I want freedom. Just imagine, my dear, how depressed she is from this sentence. Silence is golden, freedom is sweet for me. For Amanda, silence is golden and freedom is sweet. She's tired of constant parent, that instruction. They're nagging. She considers it's a trouble to her. Correct? Next one. I hope you understand the line. I repeat the line. I'm an orphan. What a poor feeling. You can imagine the intensity of parents' aggression, that she considers herself orphan, having parents. Roaming the street, she feels that my condition like orphan, roaming the street, playing with soft dust, making design on soft dust. I want silence. I want freedom. I don't like parents chattering always. Yes. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acting, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Oh. Again they get angry. Don't eat chocolate. Dairy milk. Remember your acne, teenagers have acne, pimples. Acne. Because of your all such items, fast food, your face is full of pimples. A pimple is normal actually. But parents should not point out. See, here parents' intention is not to point out our trouble, Amanda. But they are using a series of instructions that depress Amanda actually. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your pimples, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you? Oh, they get angry. I am speaking to you. Where is your attention? Amanda? My dear, here parents get angry that Amanda is not listening to them. Correct? And they get more angry, and in more anger they are literally showering their anger. And they are reminding again and again, don't eat such item. You are facing problem. Now my dear student, here you might be thinking who is right and who is wrong. Of course, being student, you think that parent may be wrong. And parents think that they are right. But let me tell you, generally, parents should tell. Of course, they should tell. But wording can be changed. And suppose, I will talk from parents' point of view, if they get angry sometime, after all, they are parents, my dear. They are the one who get angry, they are the one who offer love. So here, both should be at one border. Their aggression should not be so strong, and our negative approach should be so strong. Correct? So here we'll continue. Let's see. Don't eat that chocolate. Remember your pimple. Look at me when I'm speaking to you. Amanda. Interesting? Let's move to the last button stanza. I am Rapunzel. You know Rapunzel? I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Now when her parent instruct her about chocolate, about pimple, get angry that she's not listening, at that time she feels that my condition is about that German fairy character. You know this Rapunzel, you might have studied in maybe 7th or 8th. She was a princess with long golden hair. If you remember, her hair was so strong that she used to drop her hair from the watchtower she was living in, and her Prince Charming used to climb up with the help of her hair. So she remembered that Rapunzel, and she feel that my condition is like her. You know, she was alone there. I have not a care. Yes, I have not a care. No one cares me. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. But Amanda want to enjoy that silence of the tower. You can imagine, my dear student, how she gets frustrated because of parents' constant instruction. So she likes the tower where silence is there. But she doesn't want to be Rapunzel's like Rapunzel that throwing the hair, and doesn't want to let down her hair. Just only she wants that life in that tower. But she doesn't want to be her action because she wants silence at any cost. Yes, she doesn't want any prince to disturb her peace. In short, want to be the life of Rapunzel, but doesn't want to be the action of Rapunzel. She doesn't want any prince to disturb her peace. In short, she is very, very, very hungry for peace, silence, tranquility, and freedom. I repeat the line. I'm a Rapunzel. I have not a care. No one cares me. Life in tower is silent and rare for me. But I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Simple. I want to be like her. I want to be silent, towery life like her, where I can live peacefully, but I don't want any disturbance from any prince. I don't want to repeat her action, but I like the silent atmosphere of the tower. Correct, my dear? Yes. Last. Now instruction has no end, have no end. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nag at you, Amanda. Oh, Amanda. They don't like her sulking. You know sulking? Bad expression. Or maybe angry expression. Showing, that sulking, angry expression on face is called sulking. Correct? Parents don't like her sulking nature. Yes, because she doesn't respond them. They don't like. Sulking means short hour getting bad tempered. Correct? Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are really moody, Amanda. They think that Amanda is moody. Anyone would think I nag at you. Yes, people will think that we are troubling you. You make such a face, all people who will come to our home, they will think that we are troubling you. Because her sulky face provoked her guardian to scold her for looking so sad. Because the guardian thinks everybody will come to know that Amanda had been troubled, tortured, scolded to see her face. And parents don't want that people reaction. So they want that she should not be sulky, she should not be moody, because people will get misunderstanding that we are troubling. Correct? So Amanda's guardian think in such a way that because of her nature, they would be blamed. Surely, my dear, this poem, sometime may match to your feeling. It may happen, beta. But personally, I think that sometime there is misunderstanding. We don't understand parents' approach. We think according to our own style. And here it makes a great matter. Both should understand each other. Yes, as per my knowledge. There should not be a great valley of misunderstanding between parents and children. And this is a great message of this poem that everyone should respect each other's freedom. Okay? So thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.